Today's conversation over coffee, we are at the Gallup Coffee Company here in Gallup, New Mexico. And today we're going to be focusing the conversation on where are we looking, what are we fixing our minds, what are we fixing our eyes on. We're fixing on the good, a call to a higher perspective. Anxiety always has a way of clouding our vision. When life feels overwhelming, everything can really begin to look kind of bleak. Worry, sadness, and fear will create a thick fog, making it hard to see anything good. But the truth is, there's always something good right in front of us. We just have to learn to look for it. The Apostle Paul in Philippians chapter 4, verse 8 says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if there's anything excellent or praiseworthy, think about these things." Understand, Paul wrote these words when he was imprisoned, yet he chose at that time to focus on what was praiseworthy, what was good, rather than the suffering he was going through. If Paul in a Roman prison could find reasons to rejoice, then surely we can train our hearts to seek the good, even in difficult circumstances. I'm currently reading an old classic book called The Secret Garden by Francis Burnett, and I love the example in the book of an old gardener whose name is Ben Weatherstaff, and there's a young girl whose name is Mary Lennox, and they both are looking at the same garden, but they see totally different things. Weatherstaff sees only the thorns, the weeds, the dry and barren patches. But Mary notices the wildflowers that are pushing their way up through the cracks. She notices the sunlight, the gentle breeze that carries a scent of spring. You see, the secret garden isn't different. It's the same for both of them, but their focus is different. In the same way, life presents us with both trials and with blessings. The question is, what are we looking at? What are we setting our eyes? What are we setting our minds and our hearts on? If we only focus on the problems, then they're going to consume our thoughts. But if we intentionally search for the good, well, then we're going to find reasons to be grateful. And gratitude has a very, very powerful effect. It shifts our perspective, it lifts our spirits, and it truly leads us into a life of joy. Right now, America is deeply divided. There's political tensions that are running high. Hatred is taking center stage. Social media is flooded with anger and outrage and division, making it easier than ever to fall into a mindset of fear or frustration. Families are even torn apart over political differences. Friendships are strained. Even within churches, we see division creeping in. But as followers of Christ, we are called to something higher. Jesus never told us to fixate on the brokenness of the world. He told us to bring light into it. In fact, in Matthew, the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapter 5, he says, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before all men, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." It's easy to get caught up in the outrage. It's easy to take sides, to argue, to fall in this cycle in this world of fear and anxiety, to fall into a cycle of anger. But what if instead we chose to see people and situations the way Jesus does? What if instead of focusing on what divides us, we searched for what unites us? With a 24-hour news cycle, social media, constant negativeness in this world, it's easy to get caught in that cycle of fear and worry. But we have a choice. We can dwell either on the darkness or we can seek out the light. Jesus didn't come to build a political kingdom. He came to build the kingdom of God. That kingdom isn't built through debates or arguments or social media posts. It's built through love, grace, and willingness to see people, all people, as God sees them. So this week, I want to challenge you, step away from the negativity. Instead of dwelling on what's wrong in the world, choose to be a light. Challenge yourself to find the good in every situation. Keep a gratitude journal. Speak words of encouragement. Meditate on God's promises. And when you start focusing on what's good, noble, and true, you'll begin to see it in everything. And that shift is going to bring peace, joy, and a heart full of praise. Pray for our leaders, even those you disagree with. 1 Timothy 2, 1 through 2 talks about that. Refuse to engage in hateful speech or arguments. James chapter 1, verse 19 and 20 talk about that. Seek out ways to love and serve others regardless of their views. John 13, 34 and 35 talks about that. And as Isaiah 26, 3 reminds us, He will keep us in perfect peace if we keep our mind stayed on Him because we trust in Him. Fix your eyes on the good, fix your heart on Jesus, and let His light shine through you in a world that's desperate for hope.